committee set up to investigate violence in Plateau State in Nigeria's Middle Belt claims that about 11,749 people were killed in violent attacks in the state between 2001 and 2025. According to the report, the recorded deaths had been a product of various forms of violence, including herders-farmers clashes, intercommunal violence, and ethno-religious crises. The violence has led to the deaths of thousands of people and the displacement of thousands others. The fact-finding committee on incessant attacks, killings, and destructions in Plateau said no fewer than 420 communities in the states were attacked between the period of time in question. Arise News analyst Sobowale joins us now to discuss the unveiling of the report and the need for government to double efforts to bring the culprit to justice. Mr. Sobowale, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
It's a pleasure being here as usual.
Well, of course, this is a very alarming report. And one thing we do know is that we do not lack all these reports in Nigeria. But the issue is, how should they respond to this report?
Well, the committee has done its work. It's done a very good job. It was led by a former military man. And they showed us the methodology they used in conducting their investigations. And I am with them. It's now up to the governor and the federal government to do something. Although most of the revelations as to the causes have been known to all of us for a long time. And the Army Joint Task Force have been posted to these areas. But they have not been able to send these illegal occupiers away. Look at the Plateau State, it's a Christian state, literally, surrounded by Kaduna, Nasarawa, Bauchi. And the report clearly stated that there are incursions from these states by Fulani Asmen, by Fulani, I will call it terrorists now, Fulani terrorists, and other form of others. They steal cows, they destroy farms, and all that. And the security people are very much aware, and they have engaged them. But I tell you something, I don't think the military or the security apparatus on the ground has the stomach to take on these people for ethno-religious and so many other reasons. Because look at the report. It says that people are driven out of so many communities, and these people occupy the place and exploit the resources of the land and the facilities they have occupied. So you cannot have an army or an illicit army of occupation between our states. And you say the borders are porous, but there is freedom of movement in the Constitution. So people have the right to move around, unless, of course, each state is allowed to secure its borders. Otherwise, they are all mini states within the sovereign state of Nigeria. But it is the border porosity that makes people to creep from one side to the other. But if it falls, it comes out that those Plateau, a Christian state, is being, people are being killed there on a daily basis, something has to be done. I know some Nigerians have gone to the United Nations, they've gone to the United States Senate Committee on these issues, and they have responded. But when some of us see the result, we think as if they are betraying Nigeria. They are the people who are helping Nigeria. Because if government cannot secure its states, and if state government cannot secure their borders within the Nigerian state, then something has to be done. See, I've always defined government as any government that can legitimately use violence to secure life and property of its people within its territorial area is government. If these occupiers drive people away in so many communities, about 40 to 50, then they are the government in those areas. And the Plateau state government is just ceding power it could be the jury elected leader, but these people are the de facto rulers. So the only way and the only language I think they will understand is for government to eject them forcibly, violently, as quickly as possible. Let's leave it at that for now.
So, but I'm also wondering, is it possible, or what measures do you think can be taken by the government to improve intelligence gathering and coordination amongst security agencies to prevent, such further attacks?
They need to share information. That's what they call joint task force. It's made up of all. But you see, invariably, you see, people want to create territories for themselves. The Air Force wants to be seen as the only one controlling the air. But if it does not get good intelligence and cooperation with those on the ground, it will be bombing in places like they have done in recent times. So there must be shared intelligence and constant patrolling of. Now they have pointed out the borders. Yes, let them have checkpoints at the borders. It's not as if they are preventing people from one state to the other. But if you identify that this border with this state, there are infiltrators coming to harm your people or your interests, you monitor them. You cannot be saying you are waiting for the creation of a state police. By that time, they would have killed everybody around. So the sooner government intervenes, I would not call for a state of emergency because they are so incessant. And government must have the stomach, and security people must have the stomach. They cannot, you see, it has to be said, there are strong religious sentiments favoring the Fulani herdsmen against the Plateau people. Government must do something about that. And if you know that we have a Muslim treated, you see, some people are feeling as if the Fulani herdsmen are above the law. They're above the law. And I'm not surprised. The former president once said that if he didn't go to the army, he would have been a Fulani houseboy. So we must have a consensus. It is difficult to build because these are people in power, literally. And the northern sentiment of born to rule is there. But the Plateau people, even though they are Christian, they are human beings too. They need protection from the Nigerian state. And it is the duty of the president to protect anybody, whether you are from the north or east. And people cannot be left at the mercy of arrogant Fulani herdsmen who are driving cattle all over the place and causing murder and mayhem. The sooner government did something, the better. Let's leave it at that.
Now, Mr. Sobowale, you talked about government using violence, if necessary, to eject these people that have taken territories. But what mechanisms can be put in place to prevent human rights abuses, and ensure that security forces respect the rights of citizens, even as they fight to retake this territory?
Look, let me tell you, it's not that I don't respect human rights, but you can only talk of human rights when you have a peaceful environment. You have to secure the environment first. That's the difference between our type of democracy and the communist democracy. There's no dissent. It's not allowed. The state, they practice what they call state terrorism. I'm not saying we should do that. But government is not a prayer meeting or a mosque being convened. Government is power. And power, if you are facing people who have ammunition, you must conquer them, subdue them violently.
But wouldn't the civilian casualty be too high? Just very briefly as we wrap up.
Look, if there are civilian casualties, so be it, as long as peace is secured. Don't be talking theory. If you are at war, you have to secure what you are doing first. If there's civilian casualty, they take care of them. Are there not enough casualties now? With the people using violence illegally and subduing government, which has the power, the constitutional right to use violence to secure its border. So let government have the stomach and the guts to show its strength and drive them scampering away so that the people of this area can live in peace and their properties will be protected. That's how I see it. Yes.
Arise News analyst, Mr. Sobowale, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.